this is going to take my business to the next level. This is going to generate income that I have been leaving on the table for someone else to take. And nobody ever told me about it. I'm Tay Sims. I've been in the industry. I actually run, my company is called Sims Tax Services, and I've been doing taxes since 1997 on a individual basis. I started out in corporate America. I left corporate and decided, hey, let me just try this, see if it works. And I have been doing it since 97, so I'm going to say it's working.
Prior to joining Service Bureau Accelerator, did you know what a service bureau was? Did you ever look into being a service bureau? Did you have any idea that it existed?
No, I didn't even know that there was a second part to what I did. And so keep in mind, I've been with you 2 years. 2 years. And so 20 plus years, I was a tax preparer. That's what I did. I was hurt and shocked that I had left so much money on the table. But I faithfully bought software because I thought they were giving me such a good deal, and all the disappointment.
Well, full disclosure, you had a good deal. Full disclosure for anybody watching this, Tay was actually a customer of my service bureau without even knowing that she was a customer of my service bureau, which what makes this kind of a funny transition. It's like, hey, there's this opportunity here for you if you want it. So tell me a little bit about, you were actually, come to think of it, you were the first sign up for this program. The very first person that signed up, because we did that small presentation to a small group, and you were the first phone call, and you're the first ones like, take my money. So that presentation that you saw was like version 1, and it wasn't that great compared to the ones that we normally do. But I want to kind of extract from you, what about that presentation, or what about the opportunity of being a service bureau really stuck out to you, and you're like, hey, this is an option for me? What excited you most about it?
Well, there was a couple of things. So knowing that I had already, did the whole software thing with you the prior year, and kind of just shocked on the service that I got. I mean, I will say this, I've used some of the largest software companies out there. I won't say their names, but I've used them. And the support is not what I got when I came. I mean, I give my clients that whole personal hands-on support, and that's what I got when I came over here. So I fell in love with just that customer service and support level that I got. So I was like, okay. And everything that, even though I was in your service bureau, everything that I was told, this is what it's going to do, this is how it works, some of the stuff I forgot about. And it was still delivered like 9,000 plus. And so when I got invited to that call, and I was like, okay, I'm learning that there's more out there. And just from that one informational call was just knowing that, so this is where I've been going wrong. I was like, this is something I've just got to try and see. It may not be for me, but I'm going to try it. Because I've always been on the processing side. I never knew how to scale the business from what I was accustomed to what was really out there. And I learned that in that informational call. Now, true enough, your calls have changed. What you told me, I don't think you've ever said again. But in the same sense, it worked. It worked. For someone who has just been a tax preparer running a business, it was an eye-opener. It was my game changer. I will say that.
Part of our program and what separates, what we do from everybody else out there is we have a whole training side to not just software training. I mean, I always tell people, hey, all softwares do the same crap, just how you put it in, right? I'm talking about how do we grow this business? That's really what we like to focus on. So thinking back to the training, I know, you've been through some of our other programs, so you kind of have an idea of how we lay stuff out, but can you share a bit about any feedback or experience you had in the actual training? Any maybe stuff that you pulled out? Did it help you put anything together? Just give your overall thoughts or experience on the training side.
Well, one of the things that I love is I work during the day. So I like the fact that it was recorded. I like the step by step. I'm more of a hands-on person. So if I see you do it, then I'm great at copying. I can do it. And that was one of the things that I loved about the service bureau. When the training was in the system, I could literally go through and listen to it. Okay, I didn't get that. I could back it up. Where a lot of time when it's live training, or if it's just book training, and that's what I'm accustomed to, I print out a manual and I just read through it and it tells me whatever I need to do that's different in the system. But with the service bureau, it trained me on everything. I mean, how to, the call scripts, just from how to market it. I think y'all kind of put way more in there than you should. But since I had already bought it, I was okay with it. I was like, when they realized they gave the whole cow away, they're going to be like, wait a minute, we got to scale this back some. Because one of the first things that happens in being a tax preparer is follow up. The office is going crazy. Everybody is calling and people fall through. And Tax Nitro became my heaven ground. I love that system. I tell people all the time, I don't care what we're doing, just put it in Tax Nitro. Well, it don't have nothing to do with taxes. I don't care. Put it in Tax Nitro because it gives you that accountability. It gives you the follow up. And so when I was able to watch the training, I knew how to program. So I'm not the technology savvy, but I got comfortable with being able to see how leads are generated, how to run my Facebook ads, because who don't use Facebook is me. I didn't know nothing about Twitter, Instagram. I didn't do any of that, but I learned well, I'm not going to say I've learned it, but it was displayed in such a simple way. It was almost like a clicking point. I always say your system reminds me of when they first came out with computers and you could go home and hook them up yourself and everything was color coded. You plug the green plug into the green, the red into, that's what y'all gave me. You just plug this in and it was like a plug and play. And so as long as I did exactly, I didn't try to recreate the wheel. I didn't add to it, take from it. I followed step by step and it worked.
Right. So you mentioned something before we started this call on how you messed up a little bit. Everybody messes up doing the first year doing anything, and the second year there's always missteps and hey, I could do this better next time, right? That's something that we focus on in the growth of any company. Your mistake didn't cost you money, it actually made you money. Right? It looks like you're on track to hit about 50 grand in service bureau and fees and other add-on fees that you did, even though that technically was a mistake. What do you feel what are you more excited about going into next season now, knowing what you know, that hey, this is where I started, this is where I messed up, and this is what I want to do better? Like, what are you really excited about going into next year? Well, I guess this year.
Yeah, this year is my academy. Being able, which I never in a million years would have thought I would run an academy. It never crossed my mind. I didn't even know they existed, first of all. I learned that through the Service Bureau program. Hey, there's different things you can offer. And this being my first year, it was so much information. And I said, how do I do it all? Instead of, now that I know better, it's no, I'm going to take this, I'm going to zone in, I'm going to perfect it. And then maybe I add on once I get A done. Instead of me trying to do ABC, I was trying to do the academy. I was trying to sell software. I was trying to do the service bureau and duplicate the service bureau. And I was just all over the place. And so I had to get to the point to say, you know what, let's stop, regroup. I'm going to take a section. I'm going to focus. I'm going to master that. And that's my plan for next year. I got the academy down. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. It's some things I need to change that, I see that when I'm partnering with a PTN holder, some of the stuff that they actually need to know up front. And then in the same sense, hey, how do I go ahead and brand my software and just put it out there for people to use it?
Right. You said something very important, and that's something that, the shiny object syndrome, right? Because there's no right or wrong way to grow a service bureau, right? You can grow it however you want. And our job, I feel, is to say, hey, you want to go this way, here's the steps to go that way. You want to go this other way, here's the steps to go that way. And I think what happens, especially we're going to get to this topic next in the community, in the group, what happens is, you're in the group and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going the academy route, so I'm going to focus on that. But then you see somebody else, oh, I'm doing this reseller package, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. And you're like, wait, and you're kind of not even finished perfecting or even executing on one, and you're jumping to the next. And I think that happens a lot. We're going to work on ways to kind of mitigate people going down multiple paths. Like, hey, pick one and go. If it's not right for you after you give it a shot, then go down this one. But that being said, I want to talk about the community, right? We have the Facebook group. Mm-hmm. Have you felt that the Facebook, it's the first time it's ever been done, Facebook group for service bureaus only. Do you feel that's been beneficial to you at all, just having a community behind you?
Yeah, I like that only because sometimes I'm having an issue and someone has already had the issue and they just post the answer. And so it's an easy fix. It's like, because guess what? I'm strolling through there anyway, reading comments, and so it kind of gives you that little, I guess, that support system that you normally won't have being in your city and state. I don't know how many people in Mesquite, Texas is in the service bureau, because I don't know where they are. But in that community, I get that support as if, hey, we're all right here in the same location.
Can you give if anybody's looking at joining the Service Bureau Accelerator, what would you say to them? Give them any feedback or comments, anyone looking to join?
Now, I'm not the person for that. I just give y'all my card. I will tell anybody, first of all, I really don't like buying stuff. I am like, you know what? If they doing it, I can just make it up myself. And I don't even know what I'm making up, but get your credit card out and just, it was the best decision that I ever made. I believe in my gut instinct, and it was something that just said, wow, this is going to take my business to the next level. This is going to generate income that I had been leaving on the table for someone else to take, and nobody ever told me about it. So I got to trust this guy because he's willing to tell me there's some hidden money. He could have kept me as a client. Hey, I'm making money off of it. We're just going to leave it right here. And hopefully she'll find somebody else and I can make money off of them. But that wasn't that wasn't what you gave me. You gave me, hey, y'all, this is what's out there. This is how it works. And that behind the scene, letting me see what was behind the scene was a deal breaker for me. And it opened my eyes to let me know that, hey, you are leaving, 10, 20, in my particular case for this year, almost 50 grand on the table. And it makes a difference. I mean, it's not a lot to everybody, but it's enough to change some things in my household. I could really use an extra 50 grand. And so with that being said, I tell anybody, if you are being, and I'll say this, if they're offering you the opportunity, you may want to jump on it, because I just feel like with the stuff that they're doing and what I've seen and how much stuff y'all have added and you keep adding it, I'm happy I got in I consider myself getting in at the ground floor. So I'm happy I got in at the ground floor, because here's my rule. As they grow, I grow. And these guys are growing like crazy. You just, it wouldn't be a wise idea not to jump. Even if you scared, take the leap. And if you screw it up, you always get to come back next year and try it again.